Whoa! That is one freaking beautiful flatfish.
25-pound test, the little J hook in sardine. He went for a few runs and then we got him up. I netted it and I almost fell in the water, like almost pulled me in. It was crazy. I'm like, help! But it was crazy.
Oh my God, did it put up a tussle when you netted it?
Yeah. We had to like use two people. I mean, I couldn't pick it up. It was insane. It was really gonna pull me in the water.
Nice going. What a flatfish. That thing's got to be 40 pounds. Congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California on this glorious Monday morning, the day after the Super Bowl. I know all you Kansas City Chiefs fans are really happy, and the Niner fans are going to have to wait for another year to jump back in the Super Bowl and perhaps triumph this time. Great game, though. Toward the end of the game, it was really very exciting. Hey, talk about exciting. Did you see that giant halibut that was caught somewhere right around here, as a matter of fact? Those two really nice young men from the Channel Island area drove all the way down here to fish our local zone, and man, did they cash in with a halibut that goes over 40 pounds at the end of today's report. Stick around because we'll go into a little bit more depth about that catch, take a look at the vessel they caught it on, and get to know those two fine young men a little bit better. And make no mistake about it, Michael Limon, you know Michael, 11 years old, and he hangs out with Friedman Adventures all the time. He was the one who came running up to the studio at 22nd Street Landing, completely out of breath, saying, Phil, you've got to get down here. I've never seen a halibut so big. So Grandpa and I, Dan Lightfoot, walked on down there and got to meet those two fine young men and see really an extraordinarily big halibut. All right, we have got so much to talk to you about. We had our Coast to Coast show yesterday. That was a lot of fun. In fact, it was Michael Limon trying to catch fish here in Southern California versus my son Patrick in Florida. You're going to want to go back and check that out. And don't forget, tonight, you better believe it, Tackle Shop Confessions is on the air at 6 p.m. right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel with my good friend Sam De La Torre as he gets ready to depart for Del Mar, the Del Mar Fairgrounds, where the Bart Hall Show San Diego starts Thursday, runs through Sunday. I'll be there all day long on Saturday. Can't wait to see you there. You know what time it is, everybody. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, man, is that good. It is so good. And, you know, it's a little chilly down here this morning. I think in the high 40s, something like that. So, you know, being in your swim trunks and barefoot, people look at me like, man, you are freaking crazy. And you know what? They're absolutely right. Hey, hit that like button if you would. Deeply appreciate that. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Thousands of views yesterday alone, and it's the dead of winter. Can't thank you enough for your support. Tick the bell, and you'll be notified when there is new content. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. All right. So much to talk to you about, so let's jump into it with you right now. We'll start, as usual, with Mexico. And down in Cabo San Lucas, our friend Sean Morgan, who runs the Wild and Sack out of San Jose del Cabo, located very near Cabo San Lucas, still says the marlin bite. Striped marlin is really good right now. Some days they'll get double digits on the striped marlin, and when you experience that kind of a day, that is something really special. Heck, if you get one marlin or two or three, those are really special and memorable days, and they're cranking out that kind of fishing right now when the wind doesn't blow too hard down there. And as we move into spring, you get a lot of breezy conditions around Cabo and up there in the East Cape. But when the wind doesn't blow, you're able to access the zone where the yellowfin tuna have been hanging out. There's been some good yellowfin tuna hits if you can get a little bit further outside of the marlin. Moving you up to the San Quintin area, which is only 140 miles below the border here, right below Tijuana, Mexico Lindo. And as you head down there, there's been some good hits on the yellowtail. Good yo-yo iron fishing down there. Now, yo-yo iron fishing just means a smaller, heavier jig that you sink deep and wind on fast. You set the hook by turning the handle. You don't rear back on the rod and then drop some slack to the fish so they can swim away. You just grind and grind and grind until that fish pulls line against the drag, and then you have got them. So keep that in mind. Really some excellent fishing. You can add to that some excellent rock fishing to help round things out and provide even more great table fare in the Ensenada area. Now that's only 70 miles below the border. A really lovely drive as you head down the Baja coast. I love going by the Coronado Islands as you go by Pliers, Tijuana, and you head down to Rosarito and then ultimately down to Ensenada. Man, it's such a nice drive. And the bite down there's been excellent. Look at those big bonita and the rockfish for Blackfin Sport Fishing, our dear friends there, Victor, and all the great folks that make Blackfin Sport Fishing out there on Punta Banda. Such a treat and delight to fish with. So they continue very, very well. They've had an occasional halibut and some good calico bass fishing going on there also. So really nice fishing south of the border. Hey, don't forget, it's tax time. And you want to get that burden off your shoulders, whether you have back taxes or you just want to get 2023 out of your hair. You need to call Tim Marquez at A Best Income Tax. Tim does a great job. All right, let's talk about what is going on in the long-range situation. As we've been telling you, the yellowfin tuna bite has been very difficult here recently. It has not been wide open, and it's still kind of scratchy. However, the XL said they got a better sign yesterday of bigger yellowfin tuna. In fact, they had 3 cows, 3 fish over 200 pounds on the XL. So maybe things are starting to come together for that bigger yellowfin tuna. Remember, the boats out of San Diego that fish long range during this time of the year are on 16-day voyages, or if you're on the Royal Polaris, 22-day voyage way down the Baja coast, and they focus primarily on yellowfin tuna. Big yellowfin tuna is what they are after. 200+ pound fish, high 100-pound stuff, some over 300. The Royal Polaris had a 300-pounder on their last trip. That's what they're focused on, and that's why they work so hard to make that happen. Also, wahoo is another species that they are interested in. It's not that that's all you're going to catch is who and yellowfin tuna, but those are your primary targets. The most sought after fish on those longer trips are those 2 species. So the yellowfin tuna on the bigger fish showing a little bit of a sign. Is it ready to rebound and get back on the bite as it was a couple of weeks ago? Only time will tell. We'll continue to watch it for you very, very closely. All right, let's talk about what's going on in Southern California. And you have to love those 2 nice young men who caught that giant halibut. That fish was easily 40. May have been something like 45. I'm waiting to hear from Ari, who caught the fish, and see if they weighed the thing up, whether they weighed it on a certified scale or not. We'll find out here shortly, and I will, of course, report that to you. But what an outstanding catch. This local halibut fishing has been really good. And you know, this weather report for the next 7 days is calling for very little wind. So it's going to be like this. Beautiful. And man, there's a lot of bird life here in the surf. I'll bet that's biting really well here this morning. High tide around 10:30 this morning, I think. I may have to get my butt down here. But back to the halibut. Native Sun yesterday, another big day. They ended up with 13 legal halibut. They released 17 short halibut. Remember, flatties here in California have to be 22 inches in length. They had a handful of sculpin that go along with it. That is still some very good fishing, and the Native Sun has been up there around double digits on the flatties almost every single day. They run those trips out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, Wednesday through Sunday. They have an incredible competition going on with thousands of dollars in cash and prizes, and also they have a big bass tournament simultaneously taking place. So really some great action for flatfish up here in this neck of the woods. Probably the best bite has been going on here now. It kind of vacillates from area to area. Previously, it was up there on the Aloha Spirit out of Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard. They're getting back at it. Pat O'Brien had the boat in the yard for a little while. He's out of the yard and ready to start cranking on more and more halibut. So nice fishing going on, no question about it. And I will remind you all to stay tuned till the end of the report, and you'll hear from those 2 fine young men just exactly how they caught that fish. And my thanks again to Michael Limon for running up the docks and getting me down there to cover that. So that is some really good stuff. Hey, if you've got heating or air conditioning needs, there's no better person than John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Make sure you give John a call. He'll take really good care of you. Now, down in the San Diego area, we continue to see some really outstanding sand bass fishing. The Mission Bell yesterday with my dear friend Sean Hardigan and Mimi Pham, Scott Buchert in the galley, cooking for everybody and crying because he convinced me to bet on the Chiefs against him yesterday. So poor Scott broke into tears at the end of the game last night. But really good sand bass fishing, up over 70 sand bass on the Mission Bell. The Dolphin out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, 77 nice sand bass, including a nice gaffer. Really beautiful fishing going on. And for wintertime, I got to tell you, this is some really good fishing. It's mostly dropper loop. Remember, your fishing structure in most cases, sometimes you get out in the sand also, but a good hot bait will always work well for you unless you're fishing leadhead and squid. And then, of course, your squid is dead. So hot is not exactly the description I would render to a dead squid. Fishing as heavy a line as you can get away with is what you want to do. First thing you do is you walk in the boat and you ask your crew member, what do I need to fish with? Now, in most cases, if you can drop down to 15 or 20 pounds, you're going to get more bites when you're out in the sand. But if you're near structure, you're going to get run right back into those rocks or shipwreck or whatever it is, or wherever those little devils are hanging out. So as heavy a line as you can get away with. Nice fishing down San Diego way, no question about it. Dana War sport fishing with whitefish and sand bass yesterday. Nice hit for them. I should mention also that on board the Dolphin, they had a halibut yesterday. I think they had a halibut on the Mission Bell also. So there's a little bit of flatfish down there and up and down the coast. Whitefish and sculpin. Rockfish is closed in Southern California. You're not allowed to fish rockfish. You have to go into Mexico. April 1st is when the rockfish season will open up. So we'll keep our eyes on this for you very closely. Our dear friend Nick Ramirez was on the Spitfire at sculpin and sand bass and calico bass. He said it was a gorgeous day to be on the water. And man, that is so true. I hate to take and lose eye contact with you, but I have to look back there every once in a while because that is a glorious, beautiful scene. If you see any dolphin or any gray whales or anything else in the background there, make sure you drop a comment down below. I always like to go back and say, man, behind you I saw a dolphin surfing or some surfers eating it or whatever. It's always great stuff. So some pretty good wintertime bass fishing. We've seen great wintertime bass fishing up there on the new Del Mar on their twilight trips. I just mentioned the Spitfire doing well. Redondo, when they get out, have been doing quite well. And of course, you got Pierpoint Landing and all the other landings are doing equally as good for the most part. So we see some really great fishing going on. No question about it. Bart Hall Show, don't forget, is this Thursday at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. It starts and then it ends on Sunday. So don't miss the big show at the Del Mar Fairgrounds and drop by the Independence booth. Independence Long Range Sport Fishing. Our trip is April 4th through the 9th, and you can sign up at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Make sure you say hello to Paulina for me. She is a lovely person. You're going to love to talk to her about all the great trips Independent Sport Fishing has for each and every one of you. All right, we continue to watch very, very closely also in the surf because the surf fishing bite has been really, really good. The other day we were down here with the kids and we caught a mess of perch and we caught some yellowfin croaker. Isaac Parcells lost a halibut as it was coming up on the beach. We caught leopard sharks. It was really some fun action, and that has been going on an absolutely beautiful sunrise here in SoCal today. Absolutely gorgeous. We've seen great fishing. Jesse Ferran with barred perch. Looks like Corvina, yellowfin croaker for him. Andy Woodfill fishing down there at Playa Misión, south of the border, down in Mexico Lindo. So some really good fishing down there. And Terry Lovelace, well, he was kayaking here locally in Southern California, and he had some spotted bay bass, some sand bass, some really good little fishing going on here for the guys that want to concentrate on that. And the surf's been quite active. Don't forget your surf fishing headquarters in Southern California. Of course, big fish, bait, and tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. You can get all the bait you need, you can get all the tackle you need, from trout fishing to surf fishing to big game bluefin tuna. And also, they're going to be starting their surf fishing contest every single month. It'll be a different species. Sometimes it'll be the same species. It all depends. And they're going to give away a beautiful custom rod at Big Fish Bait and Tackle for the winner. We'll get you more details as they become available. It's going to all start on March the 1st, and we want you to be a part of it, so I'll be letting you know more about that. It will be in March, barred perch. That will be the species that you are after. All right, we've seen some incredible lobster crawls here. You know, after all that windy and rough weather that we had, things calmed down, and the guys have been getting out and doing so well on the lobster. The Triton had 54 legal lobster the other night, and also the Spitfire with really excellent lobster fishing. So I don't know how you can beat that. Really great stuff going on. And of course, here on your Promar Ahi Lobster Report, it has been fantastic, really great, and that is continuing. And as I like to say all the time, those things are 50 bucks a pound here in the local markets. So man, you get 10 pounds of lobster, 500 bucks worth of lobster, and you're going to be very popular with your friends and family. I'll tell you that right now. Really beautiful morning here. We are hoping for great stuff. The sand replenishment is already underway. And you know, when they replenish the sand here, they suck in sand from offshore and pump it onto the beach here to fight against the erosion here. And as they pump it in, there's clams and mussels and all kinds of stuff. So the birds are all over it. I mean, all over it. It's really fascinating to see that. All right, my friends, what can I tell you besides the fact that I'll be at Bass Pro Shops with a great surf fishing seminar for you all the day after my B-Day on March the 24th. I'll look forward to seeing you all there. It'll be 12 noon at Bass Pro Shops, Rancho Cucamonga. I'll look forward to shaking your hand, and thank you very much for all the great support you give us here at Friedman Adventures. It is deeply appreciated, and I'll let you in on some great ways you can catch some fish here, and also you can sign up for a guided trip with yours truly at that day on March the 24th. You'll be able to sign up, maybe with the elf. The elf will be there signing you all up. All right, have a great one, my friends. As always, it's great spending time with you. It's a little chilly down here. My toes are about frozen. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. You're going to see more about those two fine young men that caught that monster halibut yesterday in SoCal. Exclusive Friedman Adventures coverage for all of you, and also some pliers that may very well be the last pliers you're going to ever have to buy. My friend David Rosenthal joins us also. Have a great day, and as always, I hope to see you really soon. We're here at 22nd Street Landing, and man, you've just caught a massive halibut. First of all, what is your name?
Ari.
Ari what?
Yep, Foreman.
Ari Foreman. Ari, let's check it out, man. Everybody's gonna be so stoked. I hate to make you lift this thing again. Whoa! That is one freaking beautiful flatfish. Did you catch that fish locally?
Oh yeah, pretty local.
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna ask you where, because I know.
Secret spot,
I totally get that. But do you mind sharing with us, like, what kind of tackle you use to catch that fish? What pound test?
25-pound test, the little J hook in sardine.
Okay, and was it a dropper loop rig?
So like a 3-way swivel to a little, like 1/0 J hook.
Yeah.
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about the battle. Was it long? Was it short? How'd it go?
It was. He went for a few runs, and then we got him up. But yeah.
All right. And did you have a gaff on the boat?
Little tiny gaff in the net.
Is this the guy that gaffed it?
The net / gaff.
Oh, how'd that go, man? I mean, when you saw that fish, you must have freaked.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a halibut. I couldn't believe it, but I netted it and I almost fell in the water, like almost pulled me in. It was crazy. I'm like, help, but it was crazy.
Oh my God! Did it put up a tussle when you netted it?
Yeah. We had to like use 2 people. I mean, I couldn't pick it up. It was insane. It was really gonna pull me in the water.
Have you seen a halibut that big before in your life?
No, not even close. Yeah,
I know,
it's
man.
a huge one.
Congratulations! I wish you guys were in some kind of halibut derby or something.
Oh,
man.
I know.
Well, you're definitely going to be a highlight on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel because, man, that's got to be one of the biggest flatties I've seen this year.
Yeah, man.
So, can I check your vessel out here now? Tell me about your boat here.
My buddy Will's vessel.
Will, tell me about it. I'm just kind of shooting a little footage, but go ahead, Will. What is it?
It's a 1964 whaler. We restored it, and my brother and my dad put this cabin on it.
Yeah.
At a fiberglass. But it's really small, but it gets the job done.
And how far do you go normally?
Not far, unless it's good weather like today.
Yeah.
But usually we stay then a couple miles of the harbor.
Yeah, I would think. It doesn't look like you want to go too far, but man, it did the job.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome fish. Good job, boys. I don't know what to tell you. That's
man.
An awesome catch. Can you mind lifting that one more time? Maybe both you guys can get in there together. Because you both...
Get in the tail, Will.
Nice going. What a flat fish. That thing's got to be 40 pounds. Congratulations, boys.
There you guys. See you later.
An extraordinary catch for 2 fine young men. Enjoyed meeting them, and what a catch. They may have missed the Super Bowl, but they didn't miss the fish of a lifetime. Congratulations, boys. David Rosenthal, how are you, my friend?
Right. How you doing, Phil?
Good to see you. Man,
you too.
you've got Angler Pliers. We're going to get into that with you. You've got some Facebook pages that are really extraordinary. But more than anything, it's just good to see you again.
Absolutely. I don't get down here a whole lot.
I remember that trip we did on the Amigo. You and I were up in the bow. We could see Dorado.
Just everywhere.
Wasn't that great?
That was such a fun trip.
That was such a great trip. And
that-
spending time with you with that infectious, there it is, that infectious laugh. And you're just such a nice person to be around. So it's great to have you here
It
on.
was a great trip with a great group of people, and I'm glad you had me down today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk pliers, man. You know, you've got new pliers. They're available to the public.
Yes, they are.
Getting rave reviews from the crew on the Royal Polaris to Dan Lightfoot, who's part of our studio audience. I watched him using them yesterday while we were surf fishing. So obviously they're pretty versatile. I mean, big fish, small fish. Tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea, how people can get them, and why these pliers are better than other pliers.
Well, years ago, like probably close to 10 years ago, someone gave me a dental tool, say, hey, try using these to unhook. And it was very flimsy, kind of like a hemostat, but had a, kind of a cool angle on it and got you to see. And I'm like, these would be great if it was, something a little more durable, kind of like a needle nose, duckbill sort of thing with the same sort of angle to them. A lot of the bent needle nose pliers that you see have an extended handle, and the handles are bent, and they're kind of awkward and unbalanced. These are the perfect angle. We put the angle at the hinge.
Angle,
instead.
why? Why is that angle important?
Because when you're lipping a fish or whatever, you can see what you're doing. It's more ergonomic for your hand. I've had a lot of guys that have arthritis come up to me and say, hey, these are a lot better on my hand instead of having to twist your wrist like with something like a typical duckbill.
Yeah.
Where you have to twist.
Exactly.
To, see what you're doing and you're like looking all over. But, and they weigh about the same. You can see they're pretty much the same size, just with the angle. They weigh about the same. This one with the epoxy and wrap weighs 9.5 ounces. These just weigh 8 ounces.
Nice.
They're made of medical grade stainless steel.
Which
doesn't
is super
rust.
expensive.
Yeah, they're pricey to make, and they were difficult to manufacture as well. I've gone through several manufacturers, and I finally found one that can do what I want it to do, and has been able to deliver a really good, durable product. Chris Velasquez had like some of my prototype pairs for probably 8 years or so.
Who's Chris Velasquez, for everybody who may not know?
He runs Hooks Landing and the New Hustler. He owns the New Hustler and
That's
the
up
Coraloma out of
Channel
in
Islands.
Oxnard.
Yeah.
And he's had them for a long time. He says he uses them every day, when he's out there, and they're his favorite pair of pliers.
Really? That's great. What an endorsement.
Yeah, and he sent me a picture of his, a couple months ago, and they look almost brand new.
Really?
He says there's no rust on them or anything, and those aren't even the final product. So I gave him the final one. Same with Jim Salmons, who's a big kayak fisherman. He's got a kayak fishing show. He's had a couple pairs. He kept losing them, so I kept having to give him, replacements. But he loves them as well. He's been using them for a long time, and he says he keeps them on his kayak and his boat. My friend Ron Davis, who's a mechanical engineer who helped me with the final drawings and designs and helped me work out some of the bugs, I fish striped bass with him a lot, and he keeps 2 pairs on his boat at all times. And they're always out in the sun, in the elements, and they're just always getting beat up. So, and they still look great and function great.
Is awesome.
They won't freeze up. Like when you get a new pair, you go on the boat, and after the first day, they won't open.
I know.
Or, you pull them out of your sheath after, a trip. You go on your next trip and you got to soak them in the bait tank and, get them open again.
You've never had that problem with these?
I've never had that problem with these. I wipe them down once in a while, or I'll wipe them, with fresh water, just, every so often, but not most of the time. I just throw them in my tackle box and just let them sit when I'm done with the trip.
That's great.
Another good thing about them is the teeth. The teeth are a diamond pattern, so they grip. You can check those out. They grip a lot better than your normal, like the slats that you have in like a regular pair of pliers.
Yes.
These ones have a lot more grip to them. If you run your finger over them,
yes,
you can see that.
Can feel that.
One thing is, I have here's a Owner Mosquito size 4 hook. So, here, pick that up. You pick that up using the pliers.
All right, you're picking the wrong guy. If this works for me, it'll work for anybody. I will tell you that.
So
right now, because I'm not very
when you hold them, they're, if you're holding them, it's not going to come out.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do that with these, now try these, and see the angle one you have to turn your wrist to get to it, and then you pick it up, and then this one will, come out a little easier.
Yeah.
So. But the diamond pattern of the teeth helps that a lot.
Gotcha.
And you don't have to tweak your wrist to do it.
Yeah.
So,
was that the test you were going to give me on the show today?
Yeah, that was it.
Thank God.
that was all I was going to give you.
You're going to have me tie a knot and make a fool of myself or something, so I'm good with that.
And one thing is, people always ask, hey, will they cut braid? So
that is a very good question.
I brought some 65-pound braid. This is 65-pound Iserline braid, and it'll cut, sometimes it's a little better than others, but it will cut braid.
Yeah.
So, you just got to make sure you got it in the right spot. It's not like using a scissors or anything like that.
But it'll still work in a pen.
It cuts braid. I wish I had some heavier braid because it cuts that really well, and the lighter braid, because I fish.
Want to try it on Dan's mustache?
Dan, come here.
Yeah, really.
So they're just, more ergonomic, more fun. They're just better for you, for the wrist, and they're durable, that's the key thing. And they also all come with a custom 100% leather sheath.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So, and the sheath has a belt clip on it, as well as, loops for your belt.
That is beautiful. And it looks like, a variety of colors?
Yeah, we have black, blue. Black's almost gone. I think I have one or two pairs of those left.
Really?
Blue's going fast.
Are you going to replenish? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to replenish. I have a lot of the stainless steel ones, just the raw steel. A lot of people like that. These are not anodized because they're stainless, so it's a chemical process. So they can't do every single color. I have them working on trying to get a good green for me. So, because I know a lot of people have asked for green. So
St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner.
Exactly. So you're always fun on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
But I have the gold. I have this color, which I'm calling dark fuel, which is like a purple, brown, red, blue, like a darker one. And this one's also really popular. It's I call it fuel because it looks like fuel on the water.
It does.
You know,
That is awesome.
And that people really seem to like that one too.
Yeah.
So
I see these, man. And I go, man, those would make some good colors for some jigs too.
yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
So, but yeah, like I said, they're all medical grade stainless steel. You could really torque on them quite a bit. They are durable and they're going to last you forever as long as you don't lose them.
Yeah, for sure. Now,
So-
how do people get them? That's the big question, of course.
Well, they could go to Eric's Tackle in Ventura carries them. The Fishin' Fools carries them. Or they could go to anglerpliers.com and they can get them there online. And shipping's pretty reasonable. It's like $6 to ship.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not that much.
What do they cost?
The retail price on these are $64.99.
Yep.
And, you know, if you ever have a problem with them or whatever, I'll replace them, you know, for free, you know, no problems.
And
So-
I think it's important people realize $64.95. This may be the only pair of pliers you're going to need to buy. You're going to replace them if something goes
Yep.
wrong. Number one, the stainless steel keeps them from rusting and deteriorating. Other pliers, maybe grab a pair for $29 or $19,
Exactly.
but
You're gonna
they're
throw
going to be
them away.
frozen, and you're going to be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, you know what? I can't deal with this.
Yeah, you're going to throw them away. You know, you're buying new pliers every couple of years, which is what I used to do, you know, and, you know, my duckbills sit in my tackle box in my garage, you know, most of the time. I haven't taken them out on a trip in years. So, because I've just been using these. And, you know, but a lot of people are used to, you know, carrying 2 pairs of pliers, a duckbill, a pair of dikes. And, you know, but these can replace that. You can have 1 pair of pliers and they'll last you forever.
You mentioned that the crew on the Royal Polaris
Mm-hmm.
has been using them. What have they been telling you?
They've been telling me they're holding up fantastic, better than some of their big name pliers that they've been purchasing. And they work great. They love them. You know, they've been sending me videos and pictures, you know, using them for everything from, you know, the Pargo all the way up to, you know, big cow yellowfin tuna.
Wow.
So, yeah, so they've been really enjoying them. They're pretty much all the guys on the boat have them. So,
Are you going to be at any of the upcoming shows, or if not 24, maybe 25? Are you thinking about going to a Bard Hall show or a PCS show, anything like that?
I might be at the PCS show for one day,
Yeah.
just helping Kevin with Booyah out in his booth.
And you'd have
I'd
these?
have some there. I had some at the Hall show.
Let me know, and then I can announce that on the morning briefing, and people can come by and see you.
Okay,
That
yeah,
sounds
that'd be
good.
great. I'd love to say hi to everyone. I might be there for one day. I won't be at the Hall show in Del Mar. There is a show in Ventura in May.
Yeah, that guy approached me, actually.
And I was thinking of doing that one.
Yeah, okay, because that's up
So-
near you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of doing that show. I don't know much about the show. I haven't, you know, heard from a lot of people
I got
about
a
it.
card in my wallet of the guy
Okay.
who's organizing it.
Yeah,
so-
he's already reached out to me.
What's his name? Dr. A? Is he actually
Adam
Yeah.
Castillo or
Is he a
something like
doctor?
that? I don't know.
don't
That's a
either.
good question.
Dr. A?
So,
Dr.
yeah,
J, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm considering doing that show. It's 3 days. I do have
Just
a
keep us in
full-time
touch
job.
with that. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
so-
you're juggling that too, right?
Exactly.
But any of those things you're doing, let us know. We'll push it out in the morning briefing
I
for everybody
appreciate
to
it.
be able to join you.
You know, yeah, I'd like people to come by and try them and, you know, feel them and see for yourself. You know, a lot of the bass guys really love them.
Yeah.
You know, if you're fishing local rockfish, you know, bass fishing, things like that, these are just perfect for that.
Do they have other applications? In other words, if you're not a fisherman, can you use these things?
Oh, absolutely. I use these around the house all the time.
Yeah?
In the last couple of months, I've sold a lot more to people that don't fish.
Really?
I've sold to, you know, computer engineers, mechanical engineers, electricians, crafts and hobbyists, you know, people like that.
That's great.
They're like, these are way better than anything that they have.
Wow.
And they love them. Everyone seems to love them. There was one time we were out, you know, my wife, she didn't really understand the use for them, and we were out fishing the dock at Hamilton Cove on Catalina.
Yeah.
And there was a guy with his kid that was fishing there with us. And the kid had caught a calico bass and it was hooked really deep and they couldn't get it out. I'm like, hey, check this out.
Johnny on the spot.
And I grabbed it and just lipped the bass, just went right in, was able to take it out without hurting the fish and let it go. And she was like, oh, now I see. And the guy was like, wow, those are really cool.
Where can I get a pair?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she saw what their use is, what the use is for them, and what I initially designed them for.
Yeah.
And so I just finally, after years, I finally got them manufactured and brought to market.
And it sounds like kind of an arduous process. You went through painstakingly trying to get it right.
Exactly. So the first batches I had done with different manufacturers, just they were inconsistent, the quality wasn't there, and I just, I got discouraged after a while, and finally one of my friends said, hey, I got a guy who, manufactures some car parts for me, talk to him. And so I did, and, he's a family-owned small business. They are made out of the U.S. I couldn't afford to have them made in the U.S. because it was just, some of the quotes I got were like, I don't have an extra $1 million sitting around. Sorry.
I know.
But they worked with me and helped me refine it and get everything how I want it, and gave me some suggestions as well. And so they've been manufacturing them for me.
Excellent.
And I've been happy. And yeah, like I said, it's been a long time coming, and they're like, hey, we got some colors we could do. You want to try that? I'm like, absolutely. And they sent me some samples. I was like, oh, wow, these are great. And everyone I showed them to just loved them. And so I got some colors.
Good job, man. Hey, we'll circle back to how people can get these, but you have a couple of Facebook pages I think we should make everybody aware of out there.
Yeah, I run the SoCal Long Range Fishing Group on Facebook. We have almost 18,000 members. It's pretty focused on, fishing. With the bluefin, it's kind of come into play. It's not all long range anymore because you're catching long range quality fish
in one day range.
Locally.
Yeah, exactly.
And, a lot of long range boats are even fishing there. So,
yeah, I know.
You get people saying, oh, it's not long range, but it's long range quality fishing. And a lot of the long range guys are like, oh, yeah, I'm geared up for these big fish. And, so they fish it a lot as well. So it's been a good group. I've had it for several years, and we just have a great group of people.
That's great. And people, they just go to Facebook, search that, and then they can join the group.
Yeah, Facebook, SoCal Long Range Fishing, and they can join the group. It might take me a little while to approve a membership, but I do go through and I try and approve every single member. And I moderate all the posts on there because I try and avoid as much spam as possible.
Right.
Because there's a lot of that on Facebook.
I know.
So,
I know.
Some other groups I've looked at, you have all kinds of weird, just irrelevant videos.
Or inappropriate sometimes.
Lots of inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I filter all that stuff out. And we do have several manufacturers, of different products that offer discounts to the group. So you can see all them on the group. We have them in the featured section. You go to their websites and get discounts on their products.
Nice.
Opson's one of them.
Yeah. Perfect.
Greg's been fantastic to the group, and
Great.
I know the group really likes his product. So, and we offer a little bit of discount to group members for the Pliers as well. So you could check it out there.
Yet another reason. And then do you have a Facebook page for your Pliers or not?
Yes. It's the facebook.com Angler Pliers. Just Angler Pliers, and the website's just anglerpliers.com. We're also on Instagram. I don't do TikTok or anything like that. I just do Instagram, Facebook, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And then a website, where you could purchase them.
Yeah, let's hit that one more time. Just so I'm so impressed with these. I've used them myself. They're great, fantastic. I was using them down surf fishing yesterday. A lot of my thing is doing video now, so I highly recommend these things, and the stainless steel feature is so important.
Absolutely.
I mean, in terms of the durability and the longevity of these pliers, that says it all.
Exactly. I got pairs that have lasted me, since my first prototype pairs. They're still there. They're not, as polished and as quality as these, but they're still holding up, and they're the same metal and stuff like that. That's actually what I was doing mostly when I actually designed them. Was I was doing a lot of surf fishing.
Oh, okay.
When I was living in El Segundo, I'd be at the beach almost every day surf fishing.
Right.
And these were just working perfect for removing those small hooks out of the perch, the corvina, the friggin', the sharks, halibut, so. And then that's kind of where I did a lot of the testing of them. And then I gave them to people, and then I would take them on when I do my long range trips. I'd take a pair, and as soon as I get on the boat, I'd throw a pair in the bait tank.
Yeah.
So, and I'd let it sit in the bait tank for days.
That's great.
And then I'd take it out and let it sit
rust.
on deck.
Yeah.
No rust.
Wow.
I do have pictures up on our website of what they look like after 2 weeks in salt water and then sitting out for a week. And they basically look like this. They're basically just, look like stainless.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
So, got a little bit of grease coming out the back, but but they're durable, they hold up, they don't corrode, and they're all, just a great product as far as I'm concerned,
All right.
Which is getting people to try them and try something new is difficult.
Exactly.
So, like, a lot of the guys that don't fish see a use for them immediately. But the guys that fish, they're used, like I said, they're used to carrying, a pair of dikes, a pair of duckbills, and whatever else on their belt. Maybe a sharper cutter for braid.
Yes.
So, but this could replace them. They're a lot smaller, they weigh a lot less, and, they're comfortable to use. So.
Perfect.
That's it.
Look out there, your adoring public, one more time, and tell them what tackle stores they can get them in and what the website is. One more time, David.
You can purchase them at Eric's Tackle up in Ventura, the Fishing Fools in Granada Hills, or go to the website anglerpliers.com, and you can get them there.
Great seeing you, David. Thanks
Phil.
for exposing these to our audience. Gwen is off
for
camera,
having us.
but Gwen, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Also, and man, I wish you the best of luck with what I consider to be a really great product.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's hard when you're the little guy. I'm pretty much a one-man operation at the moment. So when
you're going to look like me one of these days. I'm a one-man operator. Look what happened to me.
Maybe. So she'll make me glue, hair onto my head if that happens.
Get a wig.
Yeah. So, but just getting them out there and getting them into stores and stuff is, it's kind of difficult when you're not, a Daiwa or a Gamakatsu or one of those companies that, just has this massive, marketing behind them.
Yes.
So yeah. So this is great.
Thank you, David.
I appreciate it, Phil.
Have a great day.
It's always good to see you. Thank you.
You too.